Hey everyone, Coach Investor back to another video for you today. So this week is packed with earnings reports. Lots of popular companies on this channel are reporting earnings, lots of holdings in my personal portfolio as well. So how do I keep track of all of that? Well, I use stockcard.io. I'm going to show you how that's done, how you can follow this channel's portfolio as well. It's free to follow. If you want to upgrade, you can use the code CouchInvestor. But I'm going to show you a bit more how to use the platform, how to follow along this earnings season, and then talk about the hot stocks for this week. Obviously, some of them will be covered on this channel, others probably in the weekly edition on Saturday or Sunday. So let's dive into this. So first up, this is the channel's portfolio, Couch Gang's portfolio. Most likely every video that I make, I decide whether we're going to add or sell a position. You can see all of those positions down below. Then the reason is basically the video that's been on the channel. Right now, the average gain is 1.34%, but over the S&P 500, we're beating that by 3.18%. So that's quite nice. You can follow this portfolio. It's free. That way you can basically keep track of everything that happens on this channel and with those companies. Now, with regards to the earnings week, you can go here on Tools, click on the earnings calendar, and here you basically get all of the companies reporting each and every day. But if you want to look for a new stock, you can use the stock screener option. Another very easy tool to use. You just click on here, start screening, and then you pick everything you want. Stock exchange, New York Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, stock price doesn't really matter, right? Because we've talked about this a couple of times on this channel. The price of the stock doesn't really decide if the company is expensive or cheap. A $5 stock could be more expensive than a $1,000 stock, right? The share price doesn't really matter. Then the market cap, I usually go for larger cap and medium caps. Growth potential, we like high growth. And then all the rest is very, very subjective. If you want good outperformed the market, if you want a buy rating, investor strategy, buy and hold, maybe you want dividend, you decide. I'll just click on buy and hold and see what happens next. Undervalued or overvalued. If you're going for growth stocks, most of them will be overvalued. So you might as well as click on this option. But if you want, click on both. Doesn't really matter. It will filter out all of those companies. Right now, I think that's enough. Let's apply that. So it loads up and gives you a list of all the companies that fits this criteria. It says here 48 stocks. Now, a lot of times the companies that you will see here, you're probably not very familiar with, which sometimes is great because you might find the diamond in the rough. Now, if you want to expand your search, because we did use the outperform the market. As we know, growth stocks have not really outperformed the market this year. So if you want, you can edit it again, then scroll down and change it maybe to bad or neutral and apply. Now we have 286 stocks and the popular names are popping up. Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, TSMC, Nvidia, you name it. It's really an easy tool to use. You can scroll through it, adapt your filter, and then maybe you might find something you like. So with all that said, I went through the earnings calendar and picked out 4 hot stocks I want to discuss because, well, most of them are pretty popular on this channel. And, well, the price of those stocks have gone down significantly. So let's talk about those. So first up, we have here Airbnb. So last quarter, Airbnb reported pretty good numbers. Nights and experience booked up 29% year over year, down year over 2 years to 79.7 million. Gross booking value up 48% year over year and up 23% year over 2 year to close to $12 billion. Revenue 2.2 billion, up significantly year over year, and then over that 2 year 36%. Net income positive, up 280% year over year and 213% on the 2 year. And adjusted EBITDA came in at $1.1 billion, up 120% year over year and 251 year over 2 years. So pretty amazing numbers for Airbnb. The stock as well, I was sure that the stock would crash more than it did, but it was pretty stable. So let's look at what they expected for guidance. All right, so their outlook, they expect nights and experiences booked in Q4 to significantly outperform Q4 2020, which makes sense, and approximate Q4 2019 levels. And this right here is very important, which will probably set the tone for the rest of the year. So looking to 2022, vaccination progress and the recovery of international travel in Q4 will be key themes for growth heading into the new year. We continue to expect ADR to moderate over time based on the recovery of lower ADR regions and return to urban destinations. So this is basically going to decide their guidance. We've seen Expedia report great earnings, so I do expect this one to be the same. As for revenue and EBITDA, they expect Q4 revenue to be between $1.39 billion and $1.48 billion, representing strong relative growth to both Q4 2020 and Q4 2019. And as for adjusted EBITDA, they expect to show continued progress adjusted for seasonality. Seasonality is going to be a big word here for Airbnb, Fiverr as well, which I'm going to talk about in a bit. Specifically, they expect to deliver greater year-over-year and year-over-2-year margin expansion in Q4 than they delivered in Q3, which is quite remarkable. So I'm very excited for that earnings report. Obviously, I will cover that on the channel when it comes out. Next up, we have Roblox, another very popular company, popular stock, took a major hit as well, but we have an upgrade and we probably have some great numbers as well. So in Q3, revenue increased 102% to $509.3 million. Free cash flow increased 7% to $170.6 million. Bookings increased 28% to $637.8 million. Average daily active users were 47.3 million, an increase of 31% year over year. Hours engaged increased 28%. Average bookings per daily active users was $13.49. We talked about this already in another video. I will link it up in the corner. But basically, Roblox is not just a COVID play and the engagement drops off. It's one of the most popular games and platforms around right now. And that's why we see an analyst upgrade. The analyst at Bank of America basically reinstated coverage of Roblox with a buy rating and $84 price target. He compares Roblox as the early years of now dominant platforms such as Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Facebook. So for Roblox as well, expect a video to come out after they release earnings. Next up, let's talk about Fiverr. Love that company, great management, great results. And as more and more people go freelance, more and more people are quitting their job to start their own business. Fiverr is obviously going to gain from that as well. So let's have a quick recap. So last quarter revenue grew 42% year over year. Active buyers grew 33%. Spend per buyer, which is a very important metric, grew 20%. The take rate is extremely high, 28.4%, much higher than Upwork and all its other competitors out there. Gross margin non-GAAP of 84.4%. GAAP net loss, negative $14.3 million. Then adjusted EBITDA, positive $7.3 million. Adjusted EBITDA margin, 9.8%. Now, as for the financial outlook, remember 2 quarters ago, they reduced outlook. 1 quarter ago, they increased it yet again. So they expect the revenue for the quarter to grow between 33 and 39% year over year. For the fiscal year 2021, they expect 55% year over year growth at the midpoint, and adjusted EBITDA for the quarter to be again positive between $5.5 and $7 million. For fiscal year 2021, coming at around $20 million, which as you can see is much higher than their prior guidance. And last but not least, Palantir, Alex Karp's Palantir. Obviously, the stock has taken a huge beating the last couple of months. Company has been doing better and better. Not that does not mean that when the stock goes down, company does better, the stock automatically becomes cheap. No, it was just extremely expensive before. Company still performs. Yes, now maybe is a good opportunity to add to your position or maybe open a position in Palantir. Really with Palantir, you're betting on Alex Karp, Peter Thiel, and their execution, because you gotta love the guy, the way he talks. He's a true American and he likes his country a lot, unlike other big tech companies out there. So let's have a quick look at those numbers and conclude this video. So first of all, they said that they expect 40% revenue growth in fiscal year 2021. So let's see if they can achieve that. For Q3, so last quarter, revenue grew 36% year over year to $392 million. Added just 34 net new customers. Commercial customer count grew 46% quarter over quarter. US commercial revenue grew 103% year over year. The commercial side of the business is still very, very young. Cash flow from operation of $101 million, representing a 26% margin. Adjusted free cash flow of $119 million, representing a 30% margin. They closed 54 deals of $1 million or more, of which 33 deals are $5 million or more, and 18 deals are $10 million or more. Total remaining deal value grew 50% year over year to $3.6 billion. GAAP net loss per share is 5 cents, negative 5 cents that is. Adjusted earnings per share diluted of 4 cents. So they are expected to report $418 million in revenue, adjusted operating margin of 22%, and for fiscal year, as they said right here, 40% growth to $1.527 billion. They also raised their outlook for adjusted free cash flow to in excess of $400 million. That's up from $300 million. And they continue to expect annual revenue growth of 30% or greater for 2021 through 2025. I do want to say that you can expect a lot of headlines, whether it's on Twitter, where it's the mainstream media, or probably on YouTube, lots of clickbait titles with Palantir, whether they will report positive numbers or negative numbers. Just be aware of that, because with Palantir, it's a very, very popular stock, very popular on Twitter, on YouTube, and especially on Reddit. So just keep an eye out on that. Look at the business, look at the numbers. Maybe if you have time, listen to the earnings call as well, because a lot of information gets shared there. I will not cover Palantir on this channel, especially not in a specific video, because there are other channels that can do that much better. Palantir Vision being one of those. But all the other companies, Airbnb, Fiverr, Roblox, will be covered on this channel, maybe even Roku. So stay tuned for that. And do share what company you're holding is reporting this week down in the comments below. Do check out stockcard.io. And if you want to upgrade, use the code CouchInvestor. Links will be down in the description below. That will be it for this video. If you liked it, consider leaving a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, maybe hit that subscribe button. And as always, guys, take care, stay safe, and see you all in the next video. Bye bye.